I'm taking us down south for some proper fried chicken today. So we put buttermilk into a double-bagged plastic food storage bag. I double line them just in case we spring a leak. We've got a backup plan, okay? For stability, I put them into a big mixing bowl so we can add all the ingredients. Then we put in our buttermilk, a little vinegar, a little superfine sugar so it dissolves and we don't have to heat it up. We throw all of that with any aromatics you like. In my case, I use garlic, rosemary, thyme, and sage, and some fresh bay leaves. Throw that all in a bag and put it in the fridge. I like to do overnight, 12 hours. You go up to 2 days. I wouldn't go any farther than that. Then it starts to go the other direction on you, but super flavorful, I think, is overnight. So this is already brined chicken. You're gonna take it out of the brine, pat it dry, and then we're going to make a batter to double dip the chicken before we fry it. I have a dish with 2 cups of buttermilk and 2 large eggs. Here's the base for our chicken mixture. A couple of cups of AP flour. I cut in some cornstarch to make it extra crispy, and equal amounts of baking soda and baking powder to give it a little when it cooks. There's salt and pepper in here. I'm gonna start with white pepper, which gives it a really earthy heat, and you use a lot of this. So I always put in 3 palmfuls of white pepper, 2 palmfuls each of paprika, 1, 2, or roughly 2 tablespoons, okay? Powdered mustard, granulated onion and granulated garlic, because they like to go everywhere together. Then we go onesies. These are all onesies. Oregano, thyme, ground sage, ginger, ground ginger, and ground or dried rosemary. Now, if you get the dried leaves of rosemary, lightly crush them in your hand to kind of break them up a little bit. Now we've got this crazy spiced flour mixture that's gonna get super crunchy. When you set up a fry station, you're going to want to keep the oil, if you're using just a big old deep pot or a great old cast iron skillet, give yourself at least 1 inch of room. Obviously, you don't want the oil to bubble over. Oil and water don't mix. You don't want it splattering all over you or your stove or your kitchen. So leave as much room as possible, and you're going to bring your frying oil, and that's oil you can see through. Oil that's lighter in color, has a higher cooking temperature, and a lighter flavor. So you want to bring your oil to 350. Take our brined chicken, pat it dry, pass the chicken into the flour and press down on it so it's coated evenly all over, and we shake off the excess. Then we go into the 2 cups of buttermilk and 2 large eggs, right? This is our glue to double dip. And then we put this back in here. Now you're not gonna be able to fit more than 3 or 4 pieces at a time without crowding your pan. So that's where you should stop. Carefully drop a few pieces into our oil at 350 degrees. See what I said about the spatter? This is gonna take 12 minutes per batch. We transfer to our rack-lined baking sheet, transfer that to the hot oven, and away we keep going, okay? Down here, to go with this, another Southern classic, yellow mustard slaw salad. So in the bottom of our bowl, we have, obviously, yellow mustard, not a big surprise, a little splash of hot sauce, celery seed, a little quick dissolve, pourable, superfine sugar, white vinegar and oil you can see through, light in flavor oil, just like you're using for frying. I like to add shredded red onion and carrot to my slaw mix. So I have my white cabbage or Savoy, a carrot or 2, and some red onion. All that's gonna go together in here for our slaw salad. I like to put out fried chicken on butcher's paper or parchment paper on a big old cutting board. My entire counter is a cutting board, so we just spread it out here and piled it up high. I also like to go crazy with the hot honey. Everywhere, all over that bird. And this is our make it in a couple of minutes, our yellow mustard slaw salad mix. Now, if this doesn't bring people to the table and keep them coming back,